Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCullum, and today we're going to take a look at a pair of forgotten, maybe not forgotten, but definitely overlooked SIG pistols. These are the SIG Pro series, or at least two of the three of the SIG Pro. We have an SP2009 and an SP2022 here to take a look at. Now, big thanks to Royal Tiger Imports. They sent me the 2009 for this video. I already had the 2022 that I acquired on my own because, of course, it's French surplus. We'll get to that in a minute. But the basic gist of the SIG Pro series is, what if you had a SIG 226 but you wanted it to have a polymer frame? The answer is, you would have a SIG Pro. So SIG first introduced these in 1998 with the SP SIG Pro 2340, and it was a pistol specifically developed for 40 Smith & Wesson, and in fact only available in 40 Smith & Wesson, introduced in 1998, and it was, I should say, actually manufactured by Sauer and Son. This is a period in time when SIG owned JP Sauer and Son, among owning some other companies, and so Sauer did the manufacturing. The 2009s are made in Germany, but SIG, like as the overarching brand name, SIG put the SIG name on them. So it's owned by SIG, made by Sauer. It's a confusing period in SIG Sauer history. At any rate, they introduced the SP2340 in 1998, and then the next year, 1999, they introduced the SP2009, which is the exact same pistol in 9mm Parabellum. That's what we have here. Kind of cool. This one is actually a Swiss Lucerne police surplus trade-in, which is neat. It's got the crest on the slide, which you'll see in a moment. Now, this pistol really does pretty well. It's widely overlooked. It doesn't get a lot of attention, but it's a really good gun. It's a polymer framed SIG 226. They were adopted by a lot of military and law enforcement agencies, both, well, more so the 2009. The 9mm was the more popular of the cartridges, but they continued to work on developing it, and just a couple years later, SIG Sauer, at this point, was involved in a major contract bid for the French police forces, a combination of the French Gendarmerie, the French National Police, and the French Customs and Border Guard Service. They wanted a new pistol to replace their PAMAS guns. That's the Beretta 92 made under license at Saint-Étienne in France. They ended up, at the end of the competition, it came down to the SIG, essentially the SIG SP2009 modified for French requirements and became known as the SIG SP2022, or the H&K P2000. And SIG won with a lower price and all the features that the French were looking for. So the SP2022 replaced the 2340 and the 2009 by essentially combining, like improving the features. The 2022 is available in either 9mm or 40 caliber, or actually 357 SIG as well. It's a pistol that SIG continues to support, and they won a 270,000 pistol contract for French law enforcement with it. So let's take a closer look at these two, and I'll show you how the guns fundamentally work and what the few little changes are between the two patterns. We will start with the SP2009, as you can see, SIG SP2009. Right there, we have the same lockwork that you would find on the P226. So this is your slide stop. Lock the slide open with that. Drop the slide with it. This lever on the side is the decocker. They have a single action, double action fire control system. So your first shot is double action. Once the gun is firing, it self-cocks to single action, and you have a single action trigger pull. Roughly a 10-pound trigger pull double action, 4.5-pound single. It's not a match trigger, but it's a really quite good trigger. The magazines are 15 rounds in 9mm. The 2340 had a 12-round capacity in 40 Smith & Wesson. And by the way, this is actually a 2022 magazine. The 2009s and the 2022s have interchangeable magazines, and really the only way you can tell the difference is the 2022s have witness holes on the back here with each round labeled. The original SP2009 mags have a series of witness holes on the right side instead. Couple other markings here up on the barrel: caliber, serial number, importer mark here, IO Inc., that's Interordnance out of Palm Bay, Florida. That's Royal Tiger Imports, they brought it in. In addition to the main markings on the slide, we also have frame made in Switzerland by SIG. So the metal parts were made in Germany by Sauer and the polymer frames molded by SIG in Switzerland. The serial number is also on a metal tag embedded in the frame. The SP2009 had this proprietary accessory rail. This is 1999. This is a period when there hadn't really been a standardization in pistol accessory rails. So each company had their own standard. This is SIG's. In theory, there are lights or other accessories out there for it, but you're probably going to have a bit of a difficult time finding them today. This disassembles just like a 226, so we're going to pull the slide back so that the notch lines up there, and then push the slide stop out. That then allows the slide to come off the front. We have our recoil spring here, non-captive. And then the barrel. The locking system is not locking lugs on the barrel, but rather the front lip of the chamber, which locks into the ejection port right here. That's a system that SIG started doing in the 1960s. Also, you can see we have the Lucerne canton crest here because this is a Swiss police trade-in pistol. Worth pointing out, these actually have tritium sights on them. However, this particular pistol was manufactured in 1999, and the tritium, which has a half-life of, I believe, about 10 years, is totally dead. I know that this was made in 99 because when you disassemble it, you can see the proof marks here on the bottom. That's the main proof. That little squashed bug is the Kiel proof house, which is located only roughly 17 miles from Sauer's factory in Germany. And then the letters KK, K indicates the digit 9, so this is a 1999 dated gun. Looking at the frame, we have a little square tab on the inside. If I push that in, I can push the grip assembly down and the plastic grip module comes off. And we have the rest of the polymer frame in here. This may look like metal on the inside. It is polymer, but it has a replaceable grip module so that you can change if you wanted different texturing. I don't know if anyone ever made different grips, but I think SIG had 2 different variations of grips for these, but you could also get larger or smaller ones in theory. Harkening back to the old SIG P210, the fire control group is in fact a unitized assembly held onto the frame by these 2 pins. Now, taking this off is a little beyond basic field stripping. You have to disengage the trigger bar to do it, but that's how they actually did the assembly there, which is pretty cool. Not a whole lot to talk about up here in the slide. You can see we've got the extractor right there. We've got a firing pin safety there. If that's not pushed up, the firing pin is blocked from moving back. And when you pull the trigger, one of the things that happens just before the hammer drops is this little guy pushes up right there, and that is the piece that pushes the safety out of engagement so that the gun will actually fire. That's the 2009. Now let's go ahead and take a closer look at the SP2022. This one is French surplus, so it's marked Property of the State. MI is Ministry of the Interior. The proof marks have been moved to the side of the slide so that you don't have to take it apart to see them. And this one, by the way, has a CA date code on it. That's 20, that's 2020, which you also have coded up here. The 2022 has a slightly different shaped serial number tag, and it now has a standard Picatinny 1913 rail for accessories. That was something the French specifically wanted. None of this proprietary rail nonsense. Let's go with a standard. So a nice improvement on the 2022. They also wanted a loaded chamber indicator, so you get that, which the 2009 does not have. When there's a round in the chamber, that lifts up. Not something that a lot of individual gun owners, in my experience, are particularly concerned about, but it is definitely something that agencies like to have. This particular one came with standard, just plain solid sights. The dovetail on these is interchangeable with the SIG 226 series, so really easy to get different replacement sights on them if that's what you want. So by the time this one was made, the company name was actually SIG Sauer, so that's how it's marked. And this one is marked frame made in Germany, as is the slide. As we know from our German proofs, we have that Kiel squashed bug proof mark there again. And the French also wanted a lanyard loop on the guns. Nothing particularly spectacular there. Like I said, the magazine is the same as the 2022. One thing that you might recognize here is this magazine release system, which is pretty easily swappable to be left or right-handed, and SIG would go on to reuse this design for the P250, P365, and P320 series of guns. So if that looks familiar, well, this is where it originally came from. Well, there you go. If you wanted a SIG 229, which is the closest equivalent in slide and barrel and grip size, but you wanted it a little bit lighter, these are your options. The 229 is 32 ounces. This guy is 25 ounces without a mag and 28 ounces with a magazine. So you save a quarter pound with a magazine in it. In addition to that really big French police contract, the SIG 2022, and frankly the SIG SP2009 as well, have gotten adopted by a whole bunch of different agencies on basically every continent. The Colombians bought them, the Peruvians bought them, the Malaysians bought them, Swiss police use them, as you can see with this actual ex-Swiss police example. There are some US military and law enforcement agencies that have purchased them. Other countries in Europe, in Asia, in South America, they're just everywhere. They're a fundamentally very good pistol. They're handy to carry, they have good triggers to them, they're very reliable, and they're inexpensive. So not really exciting guns in many ways, but you kind of don't want to carry an exciting gun if you're a law enforcement agency. You want to carry a dull, boring, reliable, and predictable gun, and the SIG Pro SP series is exactly that. So again, thanks to Royal Tiger for providing me the 2009 for this video. Again, like I said, the 2022 is a gun that was French surplus, so of course I bought that myself a few years ago when they were available on the market. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.